You saying all of that, and I have to say I agree, and I think everyone would really agree because it makes perfect sense. But in reality, I was thinking about if I turn to some of my friends that are really struggling with dating right now, and I said all of that to them, I don't think any of it would work because they are so hardwired to be in search of this like perfect person. You know, when I speak to some of my friends who are single and they're over 35, they've really like never been in a relationship before. The things that they say as reasons for why they're not giving this person a chance are so unbelievably petty. Like, I have one friend and she knows who she is. She's a very good friend of mine. She's been a good friend of mine for more than a decade.
Shout out to your friend.
Yeah. But I was on her profile once and she told me that the reason she wasn't going to give this guy a chance on this dating app was because in the back of the picture that his display picture, he had boxes on top of his cupboard. And she was like, oh God, he puts boxes on top of his cupboard. Like, so that's why she didn't give him a chance.
So here's the thing. What happens is people look at dating profiles and are going through the apps. And I think, men and women tend to do this a little bit differently. Men are like, am I attracted to this person? Swipe, which also doesn't necessarily work out for them. Like, they're not really looking for who do I want to be with. And women do the opposite. They look at it they'll look at all the pictures, they'll read everything that the person wrote as if, do I want to marry this person potentially or not? As opposed to, do I want to spend 45 minutes having coffee with this person? That's really different. And also on a first date, it's the same mentality where a lot of people think, oh, like people will come in to therapy or even friends will say, I went on this date. I had a good time. It was fun. I don't know. I didn't feel chemistry. I didn't feel like butterflies. I didn't feel that what I feel like I should feel. So I'm not going to go out with him again. And I'll say, well, why don't you just go spend, another hour with this person and get to know this person and see if something develops. No. Right. And so, but it's like, you had a good time. You did think they said, I did think he was attractive, but I didn't feel chemistry. So it's interesting because there's a study in Marry Him where it was a longitudinal study and it followed people from the time that they met their partner, like that first date, all the way through. They checked in with them every 5 years for, I think, 20 years. And what happened was they found that the people who were very happy together had kind of revisionist history about what it was like on their first date. So people who were really happily married said, oh yeah, I knew immediately, I felt immediate chemistry with this person, I knew this person was the one. But if you go back to what they reported at the time, often they reported at the time, yeah, nice person, not sure. Okay. But they've changed the story. They really truly believe that they felt something different, but we have data saying, no, you didn't. On the other hand, if people did not last, if people are divorced, that kind of thing, they will say, oh, I was never attracted to the person, or I knew there were red flags in the beginning. But that's not what they reported at the time. At the time, they reported, wow, this person's amazing. So it's really interesting that people use the first date as like, I'm supposed to feel this one thing or else forget it, when people who are very, very happy together, totally in love, totally attracted to each other, often didn't feel those sparks on the first 1, 2, 3 dates. Maybe they were even friends for a while. But people don't give each other the chance to get to know the other person or to let the other person get to know you. And I think that because the apps give this illusion of so many people are juggling multiple people at a time. So someone will go on a date with someone and then they'll say, yeah, that was fine. Maybe it was like a 7. So, nah. And then they're like, I have another date tomorrow. Or they're leaving the date and they're walking to their car and they're swiping on the apps already. Because they have the illusion that there's so many people out there. But if you just keep juggling people, you're never going to get to know anybody and to know if that person is someone that you want to be with.
So what would you say to a serial dater then? You'd say to go on the second date even if the person is a 7? Or is there, because I know people that have go on hundreds of dates a year. Yeah. And I think statistically they must have met someone that they would have been happy with by now.
Yeah, maybe. It depends if they're making good choices about who they go on dates with. So some people will just go on dates to go on dates. Other people, if they're being really, if they're saying, hey, this person seems like someone I would want to be with, and that's who they choose to go on a first date with, then yes. But I would say the question you ask yourself at the end of a first date is, did I have a good time? The answer is yes. I would go on a second date. It doesn't have to be I had a life-changing, transformative, Cupid's arrow shot me. No, just, did I have a good time with this person? Yeah. Go on a second date. See what happens the second time.